What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and I hope everything sounds a-okay. I'm just kind of checking the mic again. I like to check the mic 3 or 4 times before going live, and you just never know once you hit that little, it's not red button, actually like a bluish button, but you just never know on what happens once that goes. And hopefully everything sounds fantastic. If I can get a thumbs up in the chat, or I get a 5x5, or everything sounds fantastic. And if it doesn't sound fantastic, let me know about that as well. So we got quite a few earnings on the horizon. Since we just went live, we're going to give it about 2 or 3 minutes to let people join, and we'll just go from there. Thank you. Is that the hand up? Is that a question mark? Okay, yay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, my friends. So again, we got AMD today, we got eBay, we got Starbucks, and we got Visa. Those are, again, there's other companies. There's Dexcon, FireEye, and some other Avis budget group, which is the kind of the Hertz kind of thing, is also reporting today. So it's going to be quite of an adventure, smorgasbord of fun, without a doubt, with a lot of earnings on the horizon, and we'll just have to go from there. AMD, of course, is the big guy in the room, the elephant in the room of how that's going to trade. We did see Intel literally just drop the ball and just get their lunch taken away, and it's been pretty bad for definitely for them. Even still, we can look at that. Some folks have been asking for some charting on that. All right, I hope everything sounds good. Thank you, newbie. Plato, yes, thank you. Billy, can you look at DraftKings and CAT for Friday? Okay, it looks like you got weekly options. Not my favorite cup of tea, but we can take a looky-loo. Because again, we got a lot of stuff happening Thursday, and Thursday could drive the market down, higher, lower, do nothing. Because Thursday we have literally, I think they said like $4 trillion worth of market cap reporting with all the large companies between Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, a couple other EAs on there, I believe, Gilead. There was another one I can't remember. Was it Ford? Ford's reporting that day too. Like it's a party there as well. We're gonna have definitely go live on that as well. All right, let's go ahead and get up and running. So I'm going to put away this fantastic thumbnail of the AMD and the crystal ball and me behind the trading desk. Let's go. Boom. Should be able to see my screen here now. So let's go ahead and look again at AMD. We'll come back to this in a second. Let's go ahead, and Billy wants to look at D King. Oops, there's a D, K, and G. Taking forever to load. So it's just trading sideways. We saw that it really failed here at $38.20 here, Billy, and really those couple days didn't have enough momentum and volume to kind of cut through it, and just kind of really gave a lot of it back. Now it's potentially just trying to hold the 21, and oh, I just got filled in something. What was that? Did I have a mystery order without me knowing? Oh, I got filled in Chegg. Huh, I didn't know I had that. What up, Anthony? Thank you for joining, my friend. So with DraftKings, it's kind of in a holding pattern. If we start breaking below the 34.15, 34.13, we could be seeing potential downsides, but the parabolic SAR is still on the bottom to kind of give you this upward support and momentum to go higher. And then we can do CAT, which is caterpillar. That's the opposite of a dog. You can see Thinkorswim's a little slow right now. CAT, ooh, this is nice. This looks purr. Looking here at support again around 137. Looking to see if this could continue to go higher. And we'll have to play off that for sure. With Friday, again, the coin flip, we have earnings on this. What day is this? Come on. The 31st. That is Friday. So they're reporting on a Friday? Huh. It must be in the AM then. So they must be reporting Friday morning. Again, CAT is going to be pretty large leader in the sense of how the overall economy is doing. So we'll have to definitely keep an eye out for that if more people are buying their equipment, renting their equipment, all that kind of components like that. And especially seeing where the growth is, if there's a slowdown in housing. It's a huge component of the economy. And just farming altogether as well. So again, we did the swing high to swing low. That's where we got those Fibonacci numbers coming in. Downward support's going to be coming at 126, and potentially if we can hold and start building a strong base up here around 137, 150 could be in the near-term target. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump into a quick AMD. We're going to be jumping in between this chart quite a bit here, because again, that's one of the major highlights of today is going to be AMD, with hopefully a really good quarter. All things aside, I'm long AMD with longer call options that are going out until next year, and I did sell some the other day on Friday, I believe. Yeah, Friday, so it would have been this day where I had that huge gap up, and we were luckily to take some profit there. I took it a little bit too soon. Again, I ran all the way up to 70, well, plus 70 actually. But so this white box here, or rectangle, we had here previously. So this was kind of to give us some kind of guidelines of where the earnings could be. So that guideline was first drawn up. I made it up. Basically, looking at the option expiration, basically when it was around like $60. Now, since this gap, or actually probably it was around 60 or $62 when we kind of looked at it, that was basically the overall earning expectation move. Of course, we don't have a crystal ball, and then Friday decided to rocket to the moon for a little bit and go out of orbit and really just messed up my box here. But that being said, this box kind of needs to be corrected. So what we need to look here is at the third. So they're saying plus or minus $6 we're currently at. So $6 we're currently at is going to be a little bit, be $76 from be 74. So a little bit over here. So it'd be kind of like this expectation move. So that doesn't mean that's going to stay in the box. If the earnings are completely wonderful or terrible, it can easily break out of that box. But the market makers are saying by this Friday that 68% of the move will be inside this box. Again, those guys get it wrong. What is it? 32% of the time? You're welcome, Billy. Hopefully that was helpful. Let's check it out. Caesar Kodak? What? Kodak's making a comeback? Is that a joke? What's the ticker? I looked it up. It's KOKD. DK, sorry. What in the world? What did they announce? Kodak market nearly triples after report of government loan to help drug what? What are they doing? Did I miss something here? Yeah, that's I'm just reading this article. So Kodak has got a loan from the government. That seems they're making drugs now. Huh. Okay. Whoever bought that call, let's look at this options chain here. This probably went a parabolic. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine this. There's a lot of trading going on here, so I want to see what August ones look like. So it was trading this just happened today. So there was a move yesterday. So someone knew something yesterday. So around $2. Let's say if I just bought the $2 options yesterday, we can kind of look on how drastically that went up in price. So we're going to currently load the options data to see on how much it says rose. So literally that options contract was 25 cents. Now it got up all the way to $9. Oh, I wonder if someone on Wall Street Bets did this. That's yeah. That could 25 cents up to now trading around $5-6. That's crazy. That's insane. Wow. Heard it here first, right? Good for them. Well, I guess they're able to innovate. Let's go ahead and look at eBay. That's also one that's on the ticker as well. Again, my Thinkorswim's pretty slow today. eBay also have earnings after the close. It's showing a question mark. Or no, sorry, there it goes. It loaded. Earnings after the close as well. This one, again, it's been super strong again due to the overall pandemic, kind of bouncing around between the 5 and 8, which is the white and purple line. Kind of coming down here to the 21, scaring us off again. That was due to the overall sell-off we kind of had within the overall market of last week, especially with the NASDAQ stuff, and a lot of things kind of really got traded around and got a little mixed up. But the overall trend was still somewhat intact. It kind of held the 21 fairly well. It kind of bounced back, and now kind of just trading sideways again, potentially waiting on earnings to see how that plays out. With that particular earnings, we can look at the trade tab as well and give us a plus or minus of $4, maybe $4.17. So that's pretty significant move. So come all the way up to probably well above 60, and then down to the downside of basically 52 ish, where it's kind of run the 34 exponential moving average there. But that's it's pretty interesting to see on how eBay trades here, because again, eBay is going to be a catalyst for a lot of other stocks that are going to be coming out, especially like Shopify, C Limited, and all those other various kind of experiences that are kind of really just getting a smorgasbord of new businesses. Let's go ahead and check here. So eBay, another one we wanted to look at is Starbucks. Starbucks, again, get a cup of coffee, get a Danish or whatever they have now. I haven't been there forever. More of a Dunkin' Donuts if I do get coffee. But that being said, I'm not going to criticize. This thing has been really kind of in a very tight trading range, basically between the 200-day exponential moving average all the way down to basically like the 72 to 71 level. So basically the 80 to 72 to 71 level, and trading in that range for some time. We see again this little hiccup here that a lot of stocks that you saw kind of got a little overextended and came right back down into the range. This thing again has been below the 200-day. I know there's a boatload of lines on the screen right now, but we're really looking for the potential hold here and not break below 74. If we start breaking below 74, we can go head down to 70. So 70 is going to be a pretty strong hold there potentially. Really looking forward to kind of if you're on the bullish side, to really burst out above the 78.23, 78.25, and really close above it and continue that grind and get up back to that 80 price dollar target. But again, all things aside, everyone knows that Starbucks is a coin flip, especially with earnings. Anything going into earnings could go either direction, so be super mindful of that. I wouldn't be loading up on long calls or just buying 100 shares of the stock right now. It's going to be a little bit of a hiccup potentially into earnings. We'll see on how that overall plays out there. Alpaca stuff. You want to look at love? You need some love. We all need some love in this world. Yeah, love is. Did they report something good? Because it looks like they had a little spike up today. Again, it kind of had this overall movement, which a lot of stocks had towards the end of May and beginning of June. Really thought that everything's going to be canceled. That everything's going to come back to full swing of things and kind of make a strong comeback. That really didn't quite happen. A lot of things kind of just fell out of love, no pun intended, and then really in this trading sideways pattern. We had this box basically around love to see what the potential movement could be, and earnings was again lackluster. They're not making any money. They're parking planes. No one's really traveling. Business travel is zip. It's just not coming back as fast as some people thought. With love especially, we really need to start trading above 33.30 to start seeing some things. You've been in there sideways since 31.32. Yeah, I think that's pretty decent if you're building a position there. For me, I want something with a little bit more growth. I think Love is a fantastic company. I love flying them. I love supporting them. But for a stock for me to invest in, I need a little bit more growth. This looks like it's just kind of just trading sideways and really just waiting on for the overall vaccine and things to kind of come out and give us the all clear. Potentially, again, to the downside, we can see basically really strong support around 31, potentially downside to around, which would be around 28. That's to kind of fill that gap we had previously up here. We couldn't really fill this gap yet, so that's my only concern. We could get another little slight flush down due to that fact. But that being said, it's got a squeeze, but volume oscillator is kind of trying to get out of this really steep negative zone. With whatever happened today, it looks kind of good for it's up 3%. Maybe just a little bit of sympathy. I'm not sure. But yeah, be very careful with this one, my friend. Malone Money Mindset. You might have mentioned this before, or just curious. Is your technical knowledge self-taught from a course or work experience? A lot of it's just self-taught in the sense of books. I've been to multiple seminars, and work experience is just more of like my technology mindset that I do for work as well. So yeah, good question though. Tyler, what do you think about CHWY futures? I don't know what that is. I don't trade futures. Is that some kind of currency futures? Oh, it's just Chewy. This is I think you're talking about futures of market futures. So this is the dog food delivery service, right? Or the pet delivery food service. Yeah, this one. This one is it looks like very interesting chart here. Really, just kind of just trading sideways here. It's having a heck of a day of not trying to get above 52. That is really what the chart's really smacking me in the face of, just like, hey, that does not want to break 52. And it's been in this very tight squeeze, potentially building up an energy for a pretty substantial move this to come. But this is... it's a little difficult because, again, we're a little below the 21. We're the 50 and everything is... all these moving averages are really tightly wound together. And it's a very tough one to trade. You're really just kind of waiting to see if it starts breaking out either direction and just having your alerts out and just really being really fast to execute on that. I'm not seeing any earnings on the horizon, but I know that Amazon is going to have an effect on this, which is Amazon reports on Thursday after the close to potentially see on which way we could swing. Amazon, I think, is one of their competitors. Again, if you order anything online, Amazon's going to be your competitor in any business. But this is a difficult one. You're really just waiting for this. Basically, we did this up previously for the earnings, but let's just do it basically like this now to kind of give you some value on what the trading range looks like. That's basically what we're looking at. Did I miss something? Okay. John feels like everything's been just trading. Yeah, a lot of things have been trading sideways. They really have. They've been consolidating because we've had a huge earnings run, or a lot of earnings pre-runs, and a lot of expectations that could be considered looking at that kind of way. Plato, what's up, man? Thoughts on space? Yeah, it looks like it's space. I haven't looked at my options, but it looks like it, yeah. So this is afraid of what always happens into earnings is it just kind of runs up too much, and we're really not having enough momentum and steam, or in this case, rocket fuel, to really break above that 25.78 level. If earnings is great and everything's fantastic, it can run up and break above that. But this is usually very common when you get a large move up. It kind of wants to potentially trade sideways for a little bit, and once it can get enough legs or more rocket fuel inside its jetpack to ratchet and rocket higher. I know I said rocket like 17 times in like a minute for space, but hopefully you get the message. With this one, really need a break above that 2578. I can't make up these numbers. This is the Fibonacci retracement from the swing high to swing low. That's the 50% retracement, and we are hitting that ceiling of resistance, aka we need to really break above that if we want to continue going higher. With earnings in, I believe, the first week of August, yeah, we're really, again, just waiting on to see how that plays out. Downside support's really going to come in around $21. That's where the next level of the Fibonacci retracement comes down to, and where the overall 21 EMA falls as well. So again, be very mindful of this, that the parabolic SAR has been very much so holding this up, but if we start seeing a break of this really can kind of, I wouldn't say topple down. We'll see on how that even just kind of goes back down to potentially the 21 and maybe just rest into the earnings as well. Edward, yes, we talked about run on the live stream last Sunday, or this previous Sunday, and yeah, it's been on a massive run. We talked about this. If you're following it on a daily chart, you've really been tracking it between the 5 and 8 exponential moving average. Those are the very fast moving momentum indicators for the daily side of things, and you're really active in the trade. It's really just been, aka like you said, no pun intended, Edward, it's just been running up. Now, with like everything else that we've seen currently in the market, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say stalling out. Stalling out means indicating loss of control and your engine failure, and you're going to potentially fall to the ground. I think it's just kind of taking a break. There is no sign yet if it's breaking and the stalling engine is not able to turn over, meaning that we start breaking below 39, we could see some potential downside. Again, those parabolic SARs really holding it up. As you know, hopefully you do know, Edward, stocks don't go straight up forever. So they need to kind of slow down, calm down, and then re-engage, or need to kind of start coming down to some of the longer dated moving averages, because we are pretty far away extended from the 21. Two things can happen basically here. We can just trade sideways and wait for the moving average to kind of catch up, or we can just have the ticks come down to touch the 21 here, or actually three ways, or we can just continue going higher. But as of right now, with RSI kind of coming down, volume zone oscillator kind of coming down as well. Looking this on a weekly side, it hit the RSI. I like the RSI more on the weekly side to kind of give us a better gauge of it being overbought. So we kind of seen this previous run here before. You can kind of see this huge run up, nothing like this, but a huge run up, and then kind of traded up to the higher levels of the RSI for a couple days, or actually for a couple weeks in this chart premise, and then just kind of waited for those moving averages to kind of catch up. Built a base again up, and then something happened there, but this has definitely been on a run with the overall new engaged folks within EV movement and solar panels as well. Caesar says Workhorse. Yeah. How's that going? I think it's holding the 21. If last time I looked at this, it kind of bounced off the 21, kind of like NIO, what I did. Yeah. So this one is interesting as well, kind of like NIO, which we talked about on the video just today, actually, that should have gone live. This is just really consolidating here. I cannot tell you this enough. We're just holding like basically exactly what we could see with run, where we had that huge run up, then we just kind of trade sideways and kind of wait for those moving averages to kind of catch up. Potentially, if we can get another run going, get some more energy, either power bar or whatever, we could get another push higher to break above 1950 to kind of get those parabolic SERs to the bottom of the chart again, to have a nice little strong fantastic run there. But right now, support's going to be coming around like 1450. If that really breaks, we do have a squeeze here. Volume zone also looks good. RSI looks fairly good as well. I kind of like this, actually. I really like this. It's a good looking chart. But if it starts breaking below 1450, it could come down to around 1250. Malone says I just added space and run to my portfolio. Nice. That's. I know you're much longer hold than a lot of the folks that you're probably looking at here, Anthony. VRAM, what do you think about AMD? AMD, I'm speccing out a new computer and I'm building a nice, potentially the newer core AMD. I love AMD. Like we just talked about towards the beginning of the stream. This white box is basically the potential move for this week, basically. Actually, just kind of calm this down just a little bit like that, because it's only going to be 2 more days. Actually, no, today's Tuesday, so like 3 days. Basically, could see this box is what it could be contained in, but again, we saw with Intel really just took a dip. We'll look at that next here in a second. Really just took Intel's lunch, and it just took everyone's capital and just continued flying higher. Really, I wouldn't say crazy elevated, but we can kind of look here on the standard deviation chart here. So what we look at here is basically the yellow line, again, is the 21 EMA, and then you have the green is 1 deviation, the purple is 2, the red is 3. Normally, if a stock gets out of the bubble or out of these lanes, it needs a lot of momentum to stay out of it, and we kind of need to see potentially things to consolidate, come back into the second deviation or the first deviation, but we are fully out of these lines and basically in no man's land, and really what's keeping us alive out here is just volume. That's correct. Yeah, they do have AM. That's the reason we're doing this live stream as well, is basically because AMD, Visa, AMD, Visa, eBay, and Starbucks are all large companies that are reporting after the bell today. Henry, yo, what's up with LL on the 5-minute? Very weird. Today, the end of the day. I'm not familiar with LL, and I don't really look at a 5-minute chart, so lumber liquidators, that's your problem. This stock, I remember trading way back in the day, and it was not fun. 5-minute chart doesn't look, I'm not going to look at a 5-minute chart because that's not my cup of tea, but this thing has just literally taken off since the 13th of this month and just been holding that 5 and 8 exponential moving average and this continue to climb higher. We can see that we are seeing, again, if there's breaking below the 2050 level, that's going to be where the trend could be potentially to slow down or end. We'll see on how that trades. But yeah, lumber liquidators, I have not much to add there. Again, if you look at a weekly side, this thing has just been kind of underperforming here. I don't know what really happened for this to drive higher. I don't know if they're being acquired or they're selling themselves or they're switching to drugs as well, like Kodak. I'm not sure. Who knows what's going on there. I don't have too much information on lumber liquidators. Not in the AM, bro. Yeah, AMD is definitely the hot stock, especially on my portfolio, definitely to see on how that overall trades out. But that's it's definitely going to be an interesting show to watch for sure. We'll see on how that plays out. Of course, after the bell, again, still holding around $68. That's pretty substantial. A little recap: we've been trading this we bought into it quite a bit on these dips here, basically around $50 and $49. And just been holding longer dated calls. Finally had that breakout, and then I made a video just saying hallelujah. We finally got the fantastic news that we wanted and really got paid for of being patient. Yeah, so yeah, this definitely Wall Street Bets folks have just, which I kind of talked about in my video about Tesla IV Crush, where so many folks thought that Tesla, and my fear is right now that a lot of folks think that AMD is going to hit $80 or $90 by Friday. It can happen, but I'm just saying the likelihood is not very high. So we can kind of look at that. So $80 call is going to have a 9% chance of getting into the money. So in the money means it has to get up to the blue here. There's a 9% chance. And we go, of course, the further down you go, that number drops drastically. Of course, the one that's currently is near or at the money is going to be 50%, 40 to 50% there to be in the money by expiration. It can jump up there for 10 seconds and then come back down, yes, but they're saying the options makers or the overall market makers within the options field are really saying that we'll see on how that goes. Yeah, definitely, like even that, like that's going to be, so just to give you some kind of information, the calls that I have, we're looking at March of 2021, way out there to see on how those trade. And we have even further dated ones all the way up to the summer of next year, so 325 days out. And we have the calls basically at, I believe they were at 75, and then we had some at 70. And of course they have been, we had 65, my bad, 65 on the March ones, which we sold most of those. We bought those for way back when, on average, like $3 or $4 per option, and now they're trading for like 13. So that's when I woke up. That was a fantastic day for sure. So you're gonna have to pay up for a lot of those longer term trades. Again, that 865 when it was that. Basically, when it was like $50 was basically this AMD was trading at again. We're buying those ones at basically the $100 where it is right now for, or the 105s. But again, the overall IV or the implied volatility is so highly elevated in this that these options premiums, you kind of need to kind of wait until after earnings to start buying into things. Can you check out BA and Delta? DAL is Delta, right? BA reports this week as well, right? Or am I mistaken? Maybe I'm mistaken. I thought it's yeah, it does report. It reports tomorrow. Tomorrow morning with Spotify and Shopify. Whew, what a loaded day. That's going to be fun as well. Without a doubt. Ugh. So with BA, I don't know what happened to my line. That's weird. We had a majestic line. Maybe it got erased because I kind of went through it. It's really holding that 167, which we initially talked about on the live stream Sunday, looking for some ongoing strength. But with earnings on the horizon, like it's a complete coin flip, especially with, I think it was like, what is it, 47 to 55% of their business coming from commercial airlines. And of course, as we know, commercial airlines are currently not flying or really doing much of anything. So they do have a pretty large back order of new planes, but once things really need to kind of ramp up in the overall economy, especially in the travel and leisure and honestly business as well, to really justify some of these prices. With earnings, a complete coin flip, so be super mindful of that. The earnings move is fairly large. It was like so it's $11, almost actually $12. Let's do $12. So it's going to be a fairly large move. So $12 where we're currently at now would be at like 158, 159 potentially. So all the way down, right here, boop, right there. Pretty far, decent way down there. Not saying it's going to happen, but I think we saw with a lot of the other airlines that was kind of like, yeah, they took a huge loss and blah, blah, blah. The only other concern is what I heard, I think it was Jim Cramer who said it, which he made it a pretty good summary of it, on the sense of, I don't know if you recall, the CEO of BA said that one of the airlines is going to fail by the summer or by the fall, or I forget what time frame he said. And again, everyone's like, oh, that's American Airlines, that's American Airlines, that's American Airlines. But the I think the CEO is not really needs to really gain the grace with a lot of people again, and we could get some could say the wrong thing again and really just drive down the stock. Because on the last quarter, which wasn't fully in the virus, it just didn't drop as drastically. But the couple days after, it really did. But that was, again, due to a lot of the airlines as well. So speaking of airlines, let's go ahead and look at Delta for you as well. Kind of looking very similar to B8, right? So this is kind of whereas like we're really into this ongoing pressure of just really just holding this pattern here. Basically, if it starts breaking below 25, that could go substantially lower. We do have a nice squeeze setting up here. RSI and volume zone oscillators below 0 though. We could get a little move higher here, but again, I'm not expecting any large upside or move anytime soon until we really get fully control and understand the virus and the pandemic really starts recovering back from that. What do you think about 3M, sir? Oh, thank you for calling me, sir. They reported last night, right? Or this morning? They report this morning? I don't remember. We will see. Let's see. They reported this morning, right? Yeah. So with this one, we kind of talked about this, looking for the $156 level to hold. That's where the 618 is. Again, we weren't expecting anything crazy out of this one for sure, but we'll see how that plays out. The trend has changed with the parabolic SAR. Same with the momentum here. There is a potential of some buying here, a lot of volume coming in here. If it can hold around the $156 range, we could just be kind of building a base here. If it kind of just wants to peter off and go lower, we're going to be looking around 148 there as well to the downside. To the upside, we need to really break above that 200-day, which is around 158, and try to make our way back up to 167. But there's a lot of overhead resistance really going on there, especially where that 200-day exponential moving average lies. Bruce Lee, did you see the S1 filing for Nikola? I did not. What did they do? They sold more shareholders selling the warrants. Sammy X profits. What do you think about IV on Microsoft? While that is going, what did Nikola do now? Not Nokia. Let's see here. Yeah, if you can send me a link there, I can take a looky-loo. With Microsoft, huge component. Again, we have a lot of its competitors coming out this week as well, especially on Thursday. We're going to see who's the cloud king and who's took market share from what. Because we have Google Cloud, we have AWS, and then of course we have Azure with Microsoft to see on who is really winning in this section. That being said, we can see, again, the moving averages are not looking very pretty. That 34 exponential moving average has come in around basically the 200 to 201. That will basically be your initial support. Really to the downside, we're looking to 197 to 196 here around the 50-day. That's the simple moving average for ongoing support. And if it really comes down, we're looking for 190. We do have a day one of squeeze. I'm not going to really rely on that very heavily because it needs multiple days of squeezes to really gauge on if it's legit or not. Again, volumes on oscillators negative, RSI is kind of blank and nothing to really report there. The trend is kind of just really pitter-pattering, kind of just, it's trying to be very like, I won't say the most thoughtful, but just kind of just trading sideways around the 21. Really would love to see it above 206 the end of the week. Again, it's going to be huge, reliable, relying on the shoulders of the folks at earnings on Thursday after the close. Yeah, DraftKings has been really just everyone. I thought everyone kind of, even myself, I sold some puts in there, but it didn't perform as well as I thought. So with DraftKings, it really just held. You'll see here what's the Fibonacci trace from. So it really got knocked out at the $38.20 level and really didn't do much of anything. Looking for 34 to 35 to hold here, but I'm not touching this piece of crap with a 10-foot pole again. Forget them. No emotions, but it's F them. Kane, hey man, what do you think about ALK? Is that Alaska Airlines? You guys love the airlines, don't you? We just did Microsoft, my friend. Microsoft will really want to see if it can hold where it's currently at. If it can't, again, due to the overall pressure of the huge markets coming out on Thursday with earnings, could go down or higher. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. With Alaska Group, it's kind of just similar to what we just talked about, Delta and BA. Really needs to hold around 33 to 34 here. If it starts breaking below the 33-ish level, could be potential more further downside. We can kind of look at what downside potential could be, which is the previous swing high to low to high again. Basically, initial support around 31.16 if it starts coming down, and then down to 25, which is basically, I think it's low as well. Actually, it went down all the way down to 20, so it could be, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's really going to be heavily reliable on what BA comes out with. And BA throws someone else underneath the bus that could just put a wet towel in the market again. Fierce, what about SNE? What's SNE? Sony, oh. I guess this is the overall play on the PlayStation 5. Looking for this, hitting an all-time high just yesterday. That's fantastic. Again, I think it's usually on the coattails of a lot of the chipset. Again, they chose the right one. They didn't go with Intel. That being said, we can kind of see we can do a little fib here. So previous swing high to low, looking kind of here, we're really looking for around $80 for the next overhead resistance. To the downside, support's really going to come around the previous high, around 73, kind of where the 21 is. So 74 to 73 is going to be your initial support to the downside there. And Spot, so Spot has earnings tomorrow morning. So Spot and Shopify both have, Shopify and what's this? Spotify and Shopify, say that 10 times real fast, both have earnings tomorrow morning. Again, this one, earnings coming out, it's really just consolidating here. They just signed they signed Joe Rogan, they signed one of the Kardashians, and then they just signed a podcast with Michelle Obama. So they're writing some checks here. So we'll see how that plays out. How the earnings calls goes. I think they're going to be, hopefully, I'd like to hear them talk about a lot newer stuff coming to the platform, especially with their expansions into the podcast business and realm of that. Especially the potential looking into kind of getting into YouTube kind of stuff as well, which I would like to see that. To the downside, we're really looking around the 263, potentially down to the 253. B plays out. We can look at, let me see here. Yeah, the hit miss there. Let's see what the overall market move is for the week. $22. That's a pretty substantial move. That's a really large move. $22. So that easily can come back up to nearly its all-time highs if it tries to break above 300. Again, this thing can really move without a doubt. I'm not going to be trading this because, again, I'm just heavy into so many other things, but we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, it's crazy about the Nikola, Bruce. After they're offering issues a new S1 with 250 million. That's crazy. They need to raise that capital to build that the That truck, it's not cheap. Ask Elon. They're not cheap to build cars. Let's go. Chris says on AMD. How do earnings affect long options prices? So with long-term options prices, especially the ones that we are talking about with our earnings plays, again, if the stock drops $20, that's definitely going to affect my stock. It's going to be coming out of being in the money and this like that. But I have a lot more time, so that theta is not going to kick into those calls and really just kill it every day. You can look here. So we go look at basically, do a quick little example here for you. So let's say I am bullish on AMD and I wanted to buy, the move is saying $5, currently trading at 67. Let me just buy like the 52 call here. So it would be cost me about $1.30, $1.35, depending on how it's trading between the ask and the bid. Pretty narrow spread. Again, so that delta is only 30% of being in the money on this coming Friday. There's quite a few contracts out there, but you just never know. I normally don't like to do straight calls. I'm more of a seller of premium into earnings plays. Because again, I've been burnt so many times with earnings, and they're kind of not the most rational plays, without a doubt there. So then if we look at that same, we have to do actually round numbers. Let's do 75, because the later dated options are only basically on increments of 5. So let's just say we do the 75 call. So it's, again, that makes it easy. $75 for 75 cents for that 75 call. We have a basically 19% chance of being in the money. And another thing we can look at is at the theta. So the theta is at -25 going forth, and the IV is not as high. Is very high on this coming because we have earnings. So we go much further out here. We can start seeing that we are seeing very high numbers here as well. So we look at the 75. We see that the theta is basically 0.02. So it's basically non-existent. I'm not losing too much of my premium on that option because it's so far out and anything can happen. We're talking 325 days. So normally if I buy this, again, you're paying a much more of a premium. You're paying $11.20 to $11.60, so you're probably going to be buying this for like $11.50, so $1,150 for one, compared to the $75 previously. But with that, you get the zero theta, and you get a little bit of a higher delta. So if this really moves with earnings, let's say they do fantastic, and they really crush earnings, and the stock goes to 80. This, of course, this $75 call is going to be in the money by at least $5. So that call can easily be jumped up. It's not going to jump up and double prices because, again, it still has so much time on the horizon. It can easily go to basically a couple $100 you can make on that straight call trade. Thoughts on Royal Caribbean, Edward? That's RCO. So with them, and I think I got an alert on CCL. Alexander, be careful with if you don't feel comfortable with those calls, take them off the table. I don't want you to be YOLOing your money or gambling it into earnings. So with Royal Caribbean, we're really, again, in the same kind of pattern like the airlines, of just kind of we're in a really crappy situation and just like in a holding pattern way down here, basically just kind of waiting to see on if certain governments and countries can get their stuff together and we can get a vaccine out and get this virus and nip it in the bud. Basically, that's really what you're waiting for, because again, not many people are going to be getting on airplanes and cruises anytime soon with a virus, especially the older population who are the more statistically higher risk at this current point in time. Chris, isn't it the point of YOLO? You can if you want to consistently make money and trade for a number of years, you can definitely be a little bit more of a rule structure behind it, rather than just throwing cash at something and maybe just understand a little bit of the fundamentals of the options market. Just be very careful out there, because I know a lot of folks who just buy straight calls and like, oh, it keeps on going up. Especially with earnings, like you saw with a lot of people's dreams getting crushed. With Tesla, that IV really crushed them. Yes, silver and gold have been really going parabolic, which is a really strange thing to say about any of those kind of markets, because again, we're looking for all-time high in gold. Well, we can just look at the gold futures here. It's still up. The S&P is kind of coming down here a little bit. NASDAQ as well. Again, most likely anticipation of what we're going. Nikola to zero. Yeah, and I'm not going to any comment on that. Basically hitting that all-time high just into the previously, again, these are the future markets, so it's going to be a little bit more complex there, but we'll go ahead. Yeah, it's been up like crazy. Yeah, silver, we traded silver. Let me look at my call orders. Like my certain fashion I got out of it. Silver is SVL, right? Yeah, we bought silver $15 calls that were expiring this last year, so we're looking at, we bought, or I, by we I mean I. So let's go to SVL, there we go. We bought the Jan 15s. Yeah, those are, oh my gosh, I don't want to look at that. We bought those. I had seven, or no, I had three of these. I bought these in the beginning of May. So let's see if that. I always don't like to do this because it's going to be very painful. The beginning of May, it was like 70. Okay. I think we paid. It was about a. Okay, maybe I thought we paid 75. So we paid like a $1.50. We bought 4 of them, and now they're trading around $8. That's what happens, right? We basically bought them for $1.50, and then just in about 2 weeks it went up double, and of course I sold it. Didn't see this coming, but yeah, you win some, you lose some. Yeah, fun times. Let's go ahead and get the charts set up for the after hours trading though. So we're going to normally just do a flex grid, and we kind of just do this little fun jazz here. We had this one ready for the previous earnings call we had here, so we're just going to break this down. Live news, thank you very much. So we're going to go eBay. Disconnect that. Disconnect. Unlink. eBay. Then we're gonna do AMD, and then we're gonna do. We did eBay, Visa. Then let's do Starbucks here, and then we need to add one more chart. We'll add it here, and then we can hide this, and this is going to be Visa. These are the big guys that are reporting today. We're all going to go down like a 5-minute chart and see how that plays out. So we're going to get rid of that in the back because that just washes it out. Kind of selling off into the close here. That's totally fine. We'll see how that plays out. People are just going to be super nervous on what is going to be happening after hours. So we need to make sure. What's the matter here? There we go. There we go. After hours segment. So the white part is going to be the after hours trading. So we'll do on what goes there. That's true. Yes, it's better than buying high and selling low. Unless that's, yeah, for sure. Okie dokie. So we got about 5 minutes-ish left of trading. Let me just kind of look at here and make sure I don't have anything open on my tab here. I don't want to be in any YOLO plays here. That doesn't make sense to me. eBay. I want to look for, see if there's a trade on eBay or something. I'm looking for potentially to sell like an iron condor, collect some premium. Might try to do that. I don't think I might get filled on that. So basically on eBay I was trying to sell the $60 call and then the $52.50 call. Probably not going to get filled in that. Collect a little bit of that. Spot, we can look at spot as well. That's going to be a very difficult one as well to trade. I think this one is just going to be too volatile for me, especially Spotify. That's just going to be a little too cray-cray. I could just sell this here with your overall understanding it could go higher, but no. Let's take a look quick. So this is basically what we're going to be looking at when the earnings comes out. We're going to have the live news tab on the bottom open. Let's actually do this. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit here. Remove all studies. Yes. We're going to, just to make it a little bit cleaner. I don't want this to kind of get really jobbled up. And just really just look at the price and volume action here going forth. What am I doing here? Oh, removing. Yar. All right, we got eBay, AMD, Visa, and Starbucks. So we'll see how that overall plays out. We'll have fun with that. Yeah, definitely. Again, cash is a position. Some people make fun of folks that just want to be in cash, but if you're not comfortable to put money to work or be trading or anything like that, there's no problem on being able to play that. So let's go to a couple more charts here while we have folks coming in. And yeah, we just did space. So space is basically just failing at the $25.78 there, potentially just kind of trading sideways into earnings. We really need volume and more momentum to kind of kick it through. No pun intended. More jet fuel to really break above that 25.78 level there. But anything can happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see how this goes. MNOV, what is that? Oh, this is the, okay, yeah, I wouldn't want to touch with the 10-foot pole. This is the the virus vaccine thing, right? This is really just kind of just trading sideways. I mean, it's gone parabolic and just I can't touch that. This is not my trading style. PCG. Yeah, I don't know much about this. Definitely undervalued. Not really on the chart because it's not really the volume RSI is not too undervalued. Anything can happen, but this is a kind of a downward trending stock, so I really don't want to touch that. Can you do IVR? Yeah, I don't want to touch that. Sorry. This thing is just, I'm not sure this is some kind of mortgage capital thing. I've seen this come up before, but this is just, it's just very tight range, and I don't want to be touching that. It's just really been beaten up too much. And CICR. Sirius XM, yeah, so this one as well. Basically, we kind of drew this out previously on a recommendation or viewers' questions, is basically looking at the 61.8 percentile move, really just failing here at the $6.14. Really seeing some overhead here. The squeeze and stuff are looking pretty strong for the upside because of a lot of the moving averages, but we really need to break above that $6 and close above it to really get above and get some movement and get some stuff going and really get a kick it in the butt to kind of get it up and going up that thing. Oh, the bell's about to go off. We got 14 seconds. Let's see. I'm not going to get filled in eBay, it looks like. That's fine. Take that away. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I kind of want to make a bet here. Nope, not in time. There's the bell, and let's go ahead and head to our flex grid. And what we're going to see here is basically the news tab we're going to turn on here. Basically, you'll see a countdown of saying when the earnings comes out. Again, most of the times it's pretty normally they do it in intervals between 5 to 10 minutes after the close, and then sometimes 50 to 25 minutes after the close, and you kind of get the earnings reactions here. Most likely on Twitter you'll get the information faster. Like that's what happened with Tesla. Somehow those folks just got way ahead of themselves and were able to get in there. Alright, so what we're looking for, again, you can see the timers here. You'll see there hasn't been anything kind of updated on anything for a while here, it looks like. Surprised there's not much news on AMD here. Just kind of want to make these things a little bit more flush and looks a little more presentable. Oop, kind of zoom in here. 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 So again, what we're waiting for is basically to start seeing the numbers come through and seeing how that overall affects the overall stock price. Again, you're going to see a pretty large jump, most likely in the stocks previously to any earnings announcements, due to the fact of just people trying to place last-minute bets, people speculating, and just keep it going completely other directions. Again, this is I consider the after-hours tradings is basically has basically just gone through the roof. So it's kind of the wild west. So it looks like we had a little ping here in Starbucks. Actually, you know what? Let's just bring it down to a minute chart. There hasn't been anything up for that yet. Put this down to a minute. Put this down to a minute. Put this down. What's that? A 15 minute. eBay. Nothing out yet. Nothing out yet. Nothing out yet. Again, we're literally looking for that news to drop here on the bottom half here. Boomer. Visa. Oh, looks like eBay just popped up pretty substantial here, but there's no earnings out there yet. We're looking at basically looking at 57 here, pretty large movement here. Let's actually zoom. This looks better like this. Let me know, because again, these could move pretty drastically, and those lines, it's going to be basically like you're kind of waiting for an earthquake and waiting for those that little Richter scale just kind of start going crazy, or like you watch the movies and you see that little pendulum looking thing when someone takes like a lie detector test and they start lying, you start seeing that line go up and down drastically. And that's basically what could happen here with a lot of these tickers as well. Interesting. Again, we're looking here at the bottom here for the time, and when the earnings comes out here, you'll see like normally a countdown. Sometimes those blurred out like revenue beat, something that. We'll see how that goes. We can put the level 2 up as well, but I normally don't like to do that. Let's just do that, see how if there's a sea of green or sea of red. So basically on level 2, what you're looking at here, a lot of these are used for day trading, things like that. We'll see at potentially a lot of those orders come in. So you see the ask and then the bid, and we're looking for the bid and the ask. My bad, I said that backwards. The bid and the ask. So this is the bid here. If someone's trying to sell, someone's trying to buy, someone's trying to sell 65 stock at 67.90. So normally if things really go in either direction and a lot of momentum, you'll see a drastic amount of red on either one side. No, I don't listen to that, Plato. Not in the AMD taint. It's what do you mean? Are you saying you're questioning that, or are you thinking it's going to happen? Because there's currently nothing on my screen here. Just kind of like, you know, when you're just going fishing and you're just gonna just sitting out there, get your line out there, and just waiting for the next move and just kind of waiting for something to bite. Oh, Seagate reported what they do. I kind of don't want to turn away from this because I want to see how this plays out. It's always very fun to see these lines really jump up and down. That's maybe my autistic side that I like to see these charts really move. We're seeing a lot of red on Starbucks. Looks like Starbucks just got released. Yep. Starbucks is, woo, baby, 76, 76, 75, 75, 76. So now you're seeing the ask over here really light up. You're seeing a lot of green come through. Pretty, not large orders, but it's going to be moving pretty fast. We'll see on how that overall continues to move. Again, so the huge candle up and then nothing down. Now what you're seeing is happening is you're seeing all the computer algorithms basically look over the press release and kind of give it a number and basically see on how many. Basically, Starbucks, their main competitive is like what is the same store sales and what's the overall revenue on the company, and the basics of are people returning, are people using the mobile app. So this looks really good for Starbucks if you're a bull, really hitting up higher. So that looks great there. I love to see that definitely go higher. We don't have any trades on Starbucks, but it's nice to see that performing very well. So we can kind of look here on SBUX real fast to kind of see where it's trading at. So we're looking at that basically overhead pressure coming around 78, which was that 200-day exponential moving average, which we kind of highlighted that could be some overhead resistance. So would like to see this above that 78 potentially coming tomorrow if the earnings report and other things can start flushing out and really giving it a great number there. Let's get a wet. Oh, sorry, didn't want that. So that's great that Starbucks 77 still climbing there. So we'll see here. Visa just reported as well. It's going to take a second for these earnings to kind of be announced. The computers, yep, there it goes. It looks like it's potentially just going to be jumping around again, like we talked about that little Richter scale on the overall earthquake. It looks like it's trying to go positive. So let's see, transaction processed. A lot of these numbers, I'm not saying it doesn't matter to me. It's just going to be something completely ordained that I really don't care about. I'm just looking again on the price and volume to see how that is related to the numbers that came out. More or less, I want to see this above 199 to 200 potentially. We do have a position in Visa. We sold some puts, I believe, at 195. So looks like we did fairly good on that one. If this can continue to hold, and again, it's going to be jumping around a little bit. Looks like some more information's coming out here. Sales missed of $1 billion. Oh, that's not good. That's really taking it down pretty substantially there. Starbucks kind of a hit miss there. Visa, again, we have to kind of wait for the overall analyst meeting, aka the conference call with the CEO and the C-suite team, to kind of see how things play out. On that, nothing to really report on Visa. So we had Starbucks go out already. Nothing on eBay's or AMD yet. Let's continue to go. Starbucks, again, after hours trading doesn't mean next to nothing to me. I always like to look at live market hours. So the Wild Wild West is basically the unknown territory. You're basically kind of going into a black hole where physics doesn't exist and the element of gravity doesn't exist as well. We're getting some weird changes here in AMD. I wanted to double check what I sold in Visa. We did sell the 195s. We have time on those. Let's see here. Come on, AMD. We're waiting. Starbucks is doing well. If any of you guys in Starbucks? Should have bought some of my peanuts up to eat here. Should have had a snack and look at some earnings plays. That's what we'll do. We'll do that net one on Thursday. We'll have everyone bring a snack, and hopefully maybe we can get a sponsorship from like Frito-Lay or something like that, or maybe even Chipotle to sponsor the segment. We can call it stocks and snacks. Ooh, Visa's not looking pretty, boys. Definitely need to cut that one on come tomorrow. But I got well over 30 days or 20 some odd days left on that, so I can roll that out. But that's not a good overall effect to the market with Visa really being beat down that substantially. Yeah, let's go AMD. Dude, let's see here. Starbucks is doing good. Again, it's not breaking out as much as I would like. Again, but we're talking about a coffee company. It's not an AMD or anything like that. So nothing out of AMD or eBay yet. So we're just still waiting for for the news to drop on those two folks. Because we also had Dexcon and FireEye. What did FireEye do today? I know folks have that. Let's go look at that real fast. FireEye did great. Good for them. Nice. They're up a little bit. That's good for them. Nice. Let's look at CAR, which is the Avis. It's CAR, I believe. Maybe not. Is it? What is Avis company? Yeah, that is CAR. What am I talking about? Looks like they haven't reported as well. That's interesting. And what else did we want to look at? You want to see AMD crash for all those Come on, man, that's a little selfish. It could trade sideways. I don't want anything to crash. Like, I'm not going to be that negative person or look at it that way. I think some things shouldn't exist, lack of better words. Yeah, I have to look into what's going on with eBay or with Visa there. That's kind of strange. I thought they would do a lot better, A.H. Chang, honestly, on the sense of really just should be thriving in this market because a lot of transactions via the credit cards, and they should be really doing very well with that. But What do I know? It's really just trading around right where my put was. So if I can get out of it and roll for a decent thing tomorrow, I'll take it. Visa, Visa, Visa. Still nothing out of AMD or that. So what is? Did anyone trade FireEye? Because that was a nice little move there. It was closed around 13.38. Now it's around well over 14.30. So I'm trading a buck. A buck's pretty substantial for basically a $13 stock. I used to trade FireEye all the way in the past when it first came public. Like way in the past of like basically when it was trading around, yeah. So FireEye used to trade pretty heavily. We traded it basically in the $40 range, rode it all the way up to 80, 85, and then got out of it. But it did hurt a little bit on the way down. Got out of most of it on the rest of the way down. You have a call debit spread on AMD. Hopefully you gave yourself a lot of time on that AMD call. Oh, there's AMD. It's moving. Someone might know something. No, false alarm. Go back to Starbucks here. eBay just got popped up too, so there must have been. Okay, eBay reports better than expected earnings. Nice. Okay, but it's going down. AMD devices age adjusted beat. So the only concern with AMD what we're talking about is it has already gone up previously to the quarter, so it has to be a really fantastic quarter to continue going higher. So it looks like AMD is kind of popping up around 70. Looks like it beats the earnings per share there. Sales is also beat. So again, great news as long as we don't get something of like, hey, some kind of regulatory filing or some lawsuit or something like that that the company has to pay out or something on. That usually can happen as well, or some unexplained debt or some other same thing. Yeah, Chris is happy as can be, hitting 71. Just be careful because again, this really has to hold until tomorrow for you to get out of your calls because you're not able to trade your options until regular trading hours. Yeah, I'm not happy with Visa as well. Not happy. Looks like eBay press release is going to be coming out here in a second. It should be jumping up, and probably with good news. It looks like it's already jumping to 57. Again, yes, AMD is doing fantastic. Looking here at $71 to $70, so this is pretty good. Yeah. I'm sorry, whoever wanted that AMD Robinhood shots on losses on Wall Street Bets, you might not be getting that unless Lisa Su, the CEO, comes out and says something completely negative. It looks like the overall market is fairly happy with that earnings announcement there. So yeah, that's really nice. Good. So around $70 again. This is going to jump around for a little bit. You can definitely jump on the AMD conference call, which we can just look that up. AMD Investor Relations quarterly earnings webcast. So here, I'll put the link here. You can go ahead and jump on that. I might listen to that in the car. Yeah. It can still blow it, but it's looking strong with all that information of it. If again, it can beat earnings, it can beat revenue, but it's looking fairly substantial here, and I think it's still on the coattails, just beating Intel. But on that note, guys, hopefully you guys learned and enjoyed this particular live stream. We're definitely going to have one on Thursday as well on the overall expectations of the huge, basically the four horsemen of the market. We're going to be looking at basically, I think Facebook. I heard two things. I thought Facebook is reporting tomorrow, but I heard also there might be moving it to Thursday. We have Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, basically all reporting on Thursday as well. So that's going to be a pretty monstrous live stream. We're going to definitely have, we're going to call it basically snack and stocks, where you bring a snack, we're going to chill, look at some charts, look at some tickers, and just have a really good time and just wait on some earnings announcements to come out. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you can consider joining the Discord, that's also in the description below, and as well as the Patreon page as well. Again, guys, stay safe, take it easy. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.